What up, y'all? This is Dan here, here to talk about some Lions football and all that. So, uh, let's get started. First thing is first, wanted to ask fellow Lions fans what they felt about, or how they felt rather, about our free agent signings. Our signings weren't all that big, low key, low cost type of signings, but they weren't bad ones at all. There were signings that helped our team salary cap wise, freed up some space or whatever in some instances, and some of these moves helped our team at a low cost, which is really a good thing. You know, not bad at all. None of these moves. And another thing I wanted to ask everybody about is what do you all think that we're going to end up doing in the draft? I think I am rooting honestly for us to all trade back, but you know, remains to be seen what happens. I mean, I think if we trade back, it would help us out because we could acquire extra draft picks, and I think acquiring extra draft picks is a good thing because going into the thing, we only have 6 draft picks. So if we could trade back, depending on how far back we go, we can pick up a decent haul and get some extra picks to help us build our team better. And I think helping us build our team better is a really good thing. And given the situation and the circumstances, we're going to be looking at for our roster going into next season. We're going to be looking at vet minimum contracts and rookies from whoever it is we end up taking in the draft. So I think it'd be an extremely smart move if we went ahead and traded back in this draft. So I'm if anyone's listening to this, or I think I posted the link or whatever, go ahead and click on it. You can get on my Zoom call here and we'll talk about it. So I'd like to hear from people. That'd be pretty cool. So jump up on here and let me know what you think. Opinions on the draft and our free agent signings. I would love to hear from you guys. Pretty cool to hear from some of you other Lions fans on here. So let me know what you think and just pop up on and let's talk about some Lions stuff. Oh yeah. Hey, what's up, buddy? Connect your audio.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Cool. Hey, I like this.
Yeah.
Hey, are you getting your PlayStation 5 decal soon? The one I was telling you about?
I'm gonna look into it and I might do it. I just might do it.
It's worth it, dude. I mean, it looks very cool. I got the one where it's like the home jersey.
Sweet. Yeah, I got I got my Hawkinson jersey coming within the next couple days, and my Dan Campbell shirt's showing up. So
Now you may want to look at all of the options for your PlayStation for the decal before you decide which one you want.
yeah, I'm gonna look at them all for sure.
And also, make sure you. Oh, it's recording.
Yeah, we're broadcasting YouTube right now. So.
Oh, okay. Are we waiting for others to get on? Because I don't think Jeremy is going to get on because he has to sleep.
Well, that's fine. It's just I'm doing this to test it out because I just figured out how to stream stuff or whatever. I had to do it through YouTube because this phone won't let me do it on Facebook Live. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I bought mine through. It's called Skin It. That's what it's called. Have you ever heard of that website?
Yes, I've heard of that for some other things before. So.
It's a very good site. It does your skins and everything. Now, the one thing I do not like, and you might struggle with this, is that you would think that if Skin It, that it's a rubbery thing. It's not. It's paper. It sticks.
Oh, I believe it. I've some friends of mine have used that before, and they put it on their systems, like their Xboxes, and it works really well. So.
Yeah, one thing I would not suggest is if you have a low whatchamacallit, like if you get frustrated easily, I would not get the controller one because that thing is a bitch to get on.
Yeah, I wouldn't get those things for controllers, maybe the console itself, but yeah, not controller at all. So.
I mean, have you seen how they put on the controller? I mean, that's a bitch to get on.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass for sure.
Because you have to stick everything in a. You're stuck with how it is, and then if you take it off, then all of the stuff that's on the bottom is all gone.
Yeah, that would be bad.
So yeah, and the price isn't bad for the PlayStation 5 console thing. It's only like just for the console, it's only like $31 total, $34.
It's not bad. I'm waiting for my copy of Madden to come on, and I know in the other group, Bill and them are having like Madden tournaments or whatever. So I might.
Yeah, I was gonna do it, but they don't have a PlayStation 5. I don't think.
Oh, I didn't know if it mattered what console you had.
Well, because Bill has an Xbox, mostly all of them have Xbox. So it's like I don't even talk in there because it's like, what's the freaking point? Because if they don't have a PlayStation 5, then I can't play them. They're like, well, get an Xbox. I'm like, I just got a PlayStation 5 and you want me to get an Xbox?
Yeah, I just started getting into Madden again because years ago they took the fantasy draft option out of there, and I was kind of pissed about that. Me and my buddies, we used to actually start a full season and we'd fantasy draft our teams and shit. And
they brought that back.
Oh, okay. Well, see, that's cool.
Hey,
that's why I'm getting this newer game, but yeah.
You forgot to add me on PlayStation.
I will. I'll get to it. My kids have been having the TV a lot lately, and I actually haven't got to play the PlayStation a lot, so I'll get on there eventually.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm going to be getting on Madden too. I mean, I'll do a franchise with you.
Yeah, I want to get the fantasy draft mode back going again.
I'll do that with you. Fuck yeah, well. Now, of course, I'll have to pick a team since I know you're going to want the Lions.
Don't matter to me either way. fantasy draft, you can get anybody you want on any particular team. So
I'm gonna be rusty. I'm gonna let you know I'm gonna be rusty, so I might be garbage.
yeah, I haven't played it in a minute either, but before I get on and start that league up, I'll have to get a couple of practice games in. But yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely. Are you gonna draft Jared Goff as your quarterback?
probably not.
Are you gonna draft Tom Brady?
I don't know who I'm going to draft yet. I haven't really even thought
Because if you want to get like a Patrick Mahomes or someone like that, you're gonna need to get a lucky top 5 pick.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on how it all pans out and all that. So,
But if you get a top 5 pick, then hell yeah, I would take Patrick Mahomes
oh yeah,
or Lamar Jackson.
yeah. I mean, as long as you know how to use guys like that, then
Yeah, I know how to use Lamar Jackson. Only problem is I fumble with him a lot too because one, I try to throw with him sometimes because I'm scared if I run it all the time that I'm gonna get hit
yeah,
and then I'm gonna fumble the ball. One thing about Lamar Jackson, he does not have good throwing.
yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
So, let me ask you, out of so far out of our free agent signings for the Lions, who's your favorite so far?
Honestly, I'm going to be a little bit subjectual. I'm going to say Michael Brockers is my favorite.
Yeah, it's not a bad choice. Mine's not going to be a popular one, but I like the Josh Hill signing, that tight end that was with Campbell. And
you're not the only one that likes that one. That's a very good choice.
Like he's not one that's going to catch a whole lot of passes or anything. He's mainly a blocking tight end, but I like his mentality, his toughness. He's a nasty blocker, the kind that Dan Campbell likes, and I think he's really going to help our team, especially since allegedly it remains to be seen, but they want to put an emphasis on running the football featuring DeAndre Swift. So we'll see if that happens, but be exciting to see for sure.
Another one I'm very excited about is Jamal Williams.
Oh yeah, he's not bad. He's better than what I thought, and he's like he's a power runner somewhat.
Have you seen his entire stat line? Like it's not bad at all.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at it lately, but I know from watching him with Green Bay that he's a good back, and he'll be good in short yardage situations for us for sure.
I also like the let's see, which other ones did we get? I'm okay with the Chris Harris signing. I mean, it's not much. It's more with a depth signing.
Yeah.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Right. I know the guy we got from the Falcons. It appears on paper that he's a depth signing, but depending on how the draft pans out for us, he could end up being the starter, because he could teach the rookie, whoever, if we draft someone, he could teach the rookie, the ropes and shit. So
he could, but it's like, do you think that he's gonna start over Romeo Okwara?
I don't think he'll start over him. Well, we got Flowers on the other end.
But he's a defensive end.
How our defense ends up looking, because we have a multiple front, all three of them can end up playing,
Yeah. So. And it's like, it also depends. I also want to see how our secondary is going to look too, because we're visiting Devon. I always get his name wrong. Kays.
Yeah, Kazi, Kays, however you say it, but
yeah,
Kazi, I'll call him for now.
Yeah, Kazi.
But yeah,
we have a interview tomorrow night. I think could be Thursday. Could be Thursday when they officially meet, because I guess from what I heard, is that the Cowboys were supposed to interview him on Tuesday, but they had to schedule it for later today, because Jerry Jones and the others had to go to the Bama pro day. So look for that.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be looking out for it, but
It's also interesting because the Cowboys are not only interested in Kazi, I'm gonna call him Kazi, Malik Hooker, and former Lion Curse.
yep, he was with us last year and the year before that with the Vikings, but Curse won't be back. I don't know. I hope we get that Kazi guy, although if we do get him, I think it should only be a 1-year prove it deal because he's recovering from that Achilles tendon. And
Yeah,
guys don't come back the same after that type of injury. So
I think, because to me, it really does feel like that if the Cowboys were really thinking that they were gonna, it's a lock that they're gonna get Kazi, that then the Cowboys wouldn't be interviewing other safeties. The fact that they're interviewing 2 other safeties tells me that they're just hoping that one of them signs with them.
yeah,
You know, and it might be Malik Hooker, the one that signed with them. You know, it might not be you know, even though Cowboy fans, if you ask Cowboy fans, they'll tell you that they want both.
right.
Because
But
they're
I don't.
greedy as fuck.
They might get one or the other, but
Yeah, and truth be told, I could see, if worst case scenario, and I told others this, and you know, people say they don't think the Lions would do this. I wouldn't be shocked one bit if the Cowboys sign Kazi, then the Lions might try to set up an interview for Malik Hooker.
they could either signing if they get either Hooker or Kazi or whatever, since both are pretty much injury prone or whatever. Should only be, in my opinion, 1-year prove it deals because
Yeah, I agree. Which one would you rather have, Kazi or Malik Hooker?
probably Kazi because of his, well, can't go wrong with either one because both are injury prone. Achilles tendons are hard to come back from, and well, Hooker is always injured. Probably Kazi only by a slight margin though, but
Yeah. Even though Malik Hooker is a great tackler, Malik Hooker is always a good tackler. That's one thing I've always liked.
There's a guy that's good if you could keep him on the field, but his problem is his constant injuries. So
Yeah, and I think that's why the Colts cut Malik Hooker too.
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to advocate or worry too much if we get Hooker or not, though, because like I said, injury prone guy. So I'm not
Yeah.
him. So
Who do you want the Lions? What do you want the Lions to address in the draft? You know, on April 29th. What are you looking forward to? You know.
well, like we talked about a bit earlier, I'd like offensive tackle or to trade back, but I know that you like the Jamar Chase, and if they pick him, I'm not pissed off or upset. I just think that if we don't take him and they trade back or take something else, that we can get an equally good or just as good wide receiver in rounds 2 or 3 or whatever. But basically,
I can
if
see.
take Jalen Waddle, then I'm okay.
Here's the thing. I could see the potential of us taking Jamar Chase. I could also see us not taking him because I have a feeling, and I told you this before in private, that I think that the Miami Dolphins might take him at 3. Now, I'm hoping that the Miami Dolphins pull a stinker and draft Jalen Waddles or Devontae Smith, because of the connection with Tua.
Yeah, they could go either route. Hell, Miami could take one of the offensive tackles that I mentioned, probably Sewell, but
They could. I mean, they need offensive linemen, and even though they say they don't like Tua, and they're not fond with him, I kind of find that a smokescreen.
I think it's a smoke screen because I haven't heard that they don't like him. I saw an article or an interview with Brian Flores where he took Tua out to dinner, and I guess I think he's trying to move forward with Tua and build around him. So
yeah, and it's like everybody. No, the rumor was that the Dolphins players didn't necessarily like Tua. Like they didn't think that he was the guy.
Well, that's just a rumor that. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think if there was any truth to that, you would be hearing stuff about Tua wanting out of town or them trying to trade him. And I haven't heard anything about them wanting to trade him except for early in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, but that's died down. So I don't.
Oh yeah, we all know why about that. We all know why. And also, you have to think about it like this: if they draft Waddle or Devontae Smith, it still doesn't mean that the Lions get Chase at 7, because then you have the Eagles at 6, who are potential suitors for the Ja'Marr Chase sweepstakes. But I think that they could take what's his name? The tight end from Florida. They could take him and transition him to a wide receiver.
Yeah, I've seen Kyle Pitts all over the place within the top 10, so I wouldn't be shocked at that. Philly could also, another thing they could do, and not a lot of people would agree with this or think this, but Philly could be looking at quarterback because I don't know if they're really confident in Jalen Hurts going forward.
I've heard that actually, and I would not be surprised. I mean, maybe that's a place that Justin Fields goes. I mean, if they want to go in that direction, I don't think that would be a wise decision. But I mean, hey, I'm not an Eagles fan, and I don't care about the Eagles. But I mean, hey, that's always a possibility for them.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think that the Lions addressed a lot of needs in free agency? Are you happy with the needs that they addressed, or do you think that they need to address more for you to feel totally comfortable and think that this is a competitive team this year?
I think the main need that they address in free agency, even though they weren't big names, is wide receiver. We signed 3 wide receivers. Now they're not big names, but for that reason, that's another reason why I think that they could choose not to go wide receiver in round 1. I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, they could still take a wide receiver round 1, but I don't think it's no longer an urgent need on their end because of those signings. So I think they covered wide receiver for the most part in free agency.
I think that they addressed the defensive line, in my opinion. I mean, you and I have both stated since the Quinn Patricia era that defensive line was a huge need for this team moving forward, and Quinn Patricia refused to address that need in their tenure. Now, what I'll give Brad Holmes credit is this, that he didn't wait. What he did is he re-signed Romeo Okwara, who was our top leading sack leader last year with 10 sacks. He also traded from a known face in the Rams tenure and Michael Broncos. I feel like that those are going to be huge moves for the defense.
Yeah, they very well could be. I think I think our first 2-3 picks have the potential to be on the offensive side of the ball more than likely, because there's still going to be very good defensive players that end up slipping into the later rounds. So I think we can get some steals there.
Now, if the Lions were to say trade down, who do you think would be the suitors? I mean, I know you mentioned that you've seen that the New England Patriots, the Denver Broncos are another team that you've seen, and others I've known that you've mentioned. If that were to happen, who would you want the Lions to take? Who are some names that you want Lion fans to keep an eye on, in a trade down scenario?
Well, the main team that I think that would be more than willing to give up almost anything that you didn't mention just there would be the Washington football team, which would mean that we drop to 19, but we can get a super haul, because dropping from 7 to 19 warrants a decent amount of draft picks. So one rumored deal I heard was we drop to 19 and we get their second and third round pick this year and a first round pick next year. So
I would not mind that.
That would give us a total of 3 first round picks next year. So, and then at 19, shit, they can go linebacker right there. They could draft for, in case Harris doesn't work out, they could take a defensive end, maybe Russo or Jalen Phillips right there. They could go either way.
Nick Bolton.
Nick Bolton, a little bit lower than that. I think we could get Bolton and a Zaven Collins even earlier second round, especially if we trade back and get an extra second round pick. So,
yeah. And I would not be surprised one bit if the Lions trade down, to get extra picks, because we only have 6 picks this year. And I know that Brad Holmes and his Rams tenure is always about getting the extra draft capital to make the team better.
Yeah.
And another thing I would like to think about is this, or you and whoever's watching on YouTube right now at 1:30 in the morning, is when you look at this entire draft, based on the position value, the weakest position value, in my opinion, is the offensive line.
Are you talking about for our team or just overall?
No, overall, like, there's a big drop off when you have Penei Sewell and Slater, and then when you look down in the later parts of the draft, it's a huge drop off.
I honestly, I don't know about all that, because on the offensive side of the ball, it's deep at wide receiver. It's also kind of deep on the O line. Like, for wide receiver and O line, you can get quality starters especially on the O line. You can get quality starters within the first 4 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, a potential name I could see the Lions look at is the offensive lineman from Alabama. I know they were at Alabama's pro day looking at him.
Leatherwood.
Yes, him. He's a 3rd round candidate.
Yeah, 2nd, 3rd round, but yeah, they could.
Now, here's a thing, because we all know that we need to address holes, even though I think we addressed a good amount of holes on the team already, something that Quinn Patricia didn't do in their 3 to 4 year tenures. Um, what position would you like the Lions to address as a whole in the draft? Like, what positions do you think? Wide receiver, linebacker, edge rusher, defensive tackle, um, guard, right tackle. I'm just naming all of them.
Well, well, for one, I want us to trade back. You know that, but
Yeah,
as a whole, with some extra picks, I want our first 2, maybe 3 picks to be on offense, and then most of the rest of them, I want defense. So I would say as a whole, mainly defense, because in my opinion, I think this Lions team could use at the very least one of each position. Now I know
I
we
agree.
some defensive linemen in free agency, but the one thing that they lacked last year is depth. So later on,
Yeah,
if they could still draft a defensive end or a defensive tackle for depth purposes.
and also I would not be totally shocked as well. And I know some Lion fans may not want to hear this, but I may not be shocked if the Lions decide to draft another running back because of the fact that that with the injuries his running back team has, I mean, with the Kerryon Johnson and his bad knees, it would not be shocking to me if the Lions draft, say, the Oklahoma running back in like the 5th or 6th round. It would not shock me one bit if they do that. However, I would not.
Me either.
I'm
However, I think if a running back pick is made, it won't be till day 3. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
get you.
And I could also see and another thing you've also mentioned was that you think that the Lions may not decide to draft a wide receiver at all. And I mean, they could do that. I don't know what they're gonna do, of course, but they could decide to go that route. My personal thing is I want the Lions to add more on the defensive side of the ball. That's my main concern. It's not really the offense that was the problem. It was our defense.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is an interesting draft for sure. Because nobody really knows for sure what we're going to do, which is what makes this draft exciting.
Yeah. It's like, here's the difference between Brad Holmes and Bob Quinn. Us Lion fans, you basically knew who Bob Quinn was going to take in his tenure. I mean, everybody figured out within the draft process, within the first 2 to 3 months before the draft started last year, that we were going to be taking Jeff Okudah. And it wasn't much of a shock when we took him. And I mean, most Lion fans were pretty pissed off when we found out that it was true that we were taking Jeff Okudah. Now, this year, Brad Holmes isn't giving any clues. He's not giving any hints on who the Lions could be taking. I mean, he's keeping it hush-hush mode because of the fact that he's keeping all options open. I mean, he said that there could be a possibility still, even with Jared Goff, that we could take a quarterback in the first round. I find that as a smoke screen for other teams to try to trade up with us. I mean, he's been keeping it very hush hush mode, and it's kind of crazy to me because I've been watching Brad Holmes' press conference, and I gotta tell you, Dan, I can't find anything, to break the code really in years past where I could usually break the code and I could usually tell you, hey, I've heard that the Lions and whoever's the GM and whoever's the coach are wanting to draft this player. You can't do that now because Brad Holmes is keeping it hush hush mode.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's he's keeping it hush hush, which is good because then teams can't read into what we're trying to do. So, that's a good thing on his end.
And another thing, I think Brad Holmes is what Brad Holmes is going to value in this draft is he's gonna value the second round through the seventh round because of his tenure with the Rams, where he knew what what players were going to be good in the second through seventh round. I think that is going to be the most interesting thing in this draft. It's not going to be the first round. It's going to be what Brad Holmes does in the second through the seventh round. So in day 2 and day 3, don't you agree?
Yeah, and also another thing for wide receiver, if we trade back and he still decides to take a wide receiver in the first round, don't forget about the name of Rashad Bateman, the wide receiver out of Minnesota. He's drawn comparisons to a now former Lion receiver, Marvin Jones. That's one guy they could still take. And the guy Jeremy brought up from his pro day, Rondale Moore, that guy ran a 4.29 40 and had a huge vertical leap. So he's a smaller guy, but he's fast as hell, and he'd be really good.
And another name I could see the Lions looking at, and I know I'm bringing up the Michigan Homer side of me, but I really like Nico Collins.
Yeah, Nico Collins would be good. He's floating around there, second, third round, so that's a possibility.
And a guy that you like, who you've been taking a lot, is Eskridge.
Yep. His stock rose because of the Senior Bowl, but like Jeremy brought up, not too bad, but his stock has been also slipping a little bit, so he could be there in the third round too.
Yeah, maybe day 3.
Yeah, third, maybe fourth round. We'll see how it pans out. But
and also
is an under the radar type receiver, so it could go either way for him. So,
And also, I want to point this out, that I never go by what the mock drafts say, because mock drafts tend to be smarter than what teams do in real life. I mean, we've seen it where, say, the Jets were slated in a mock draft to take this player, and then in the real draft, we watch the draft and the Jets take a different player, and it's a total
well, actually, to reword that and correct you, that it's the other way around. It's the actual teams that draft are smarter than the mock drafts, because if you actually pay attention to like guys like Kuiper and McShay and all them dudes, like even those guys, they're really only fairly accurate within, at best, the top 5 picks. After that, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, and usually that's the case. And also, I want to point this out, that I don't know what the Lions are going to do. Like, I want to say I know what the Lions are going to do at 7, but it's like, as a fan, I think this is extremely exciting, because it makes you think a little bit more. It makes you like want to go on the internet. It makes you want to go on websites to try to get any inside info that you can. And when you can't find the inside info, it really drives you crazy a little bit.
Yes, it does, for sure. Most certainly.
And I like that, because it makes me want to watch the draft. Last year I was excited, but I wasn't excited because I'll tell you why I wasn't excited. Because we knew who the Lions were going to take in the first round last year. We knew it was going to be Jeff Okudah, which is why this year it's more exciting as a Lions fan, because nobody knows what Brad Holmes is going to do. I mean, he could trade up, as you said. He could trade down. He could stay at 7. I mean, he could do whatever he wants, and it would be, I mean, unless it's Jalen Waddles, of course. I mean, I don't think any Lion fans that, hold opinions and are very opinionated would be
Yeah.
mad about the pick.
Probably not at all. So, yeah.
It's just very interesting to me, you know, when you look at the entire draft process. It's just extraordinary. It's very fascinating.
For sure.
So, is there anything else you want to talk about, though, bro? Because I'm trying to figure out like what other draft things we could talk about because there's a lot of things we could cover.
There is, but I think I'm good for now. I'm I'm gonna get off of this and probably chill for the night, but we'll run another one of these in the next day or so. So with more people.
Okay. Oh, definitely.
Right.
That would be exciting. I mean, I'm sure everybody would love to have their opinion. I'm sure that in the coming days, hopefully by the draft comes, I mean, you would get a lot of viewers, you know, on YouTube so that we could blow this up a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm definitely gonna try to get a shit ton of people on here draft night for sure. So
Oh, definitely. That's exciting. I mean, to me, and I've always said this, April 29th through the May 1st is my favorite time of year. My favorite, and this might seem a shock to everybody, but my favorite day is day 3 of the draft because it's all day. It's from 11 a.m. till 6 o'clock at night.
yeah, and they run multiple picks at once too. So
And it's like even when you're at a commercial, you can just go through your phone and look who your team picks. I mean, it's pretty amazing how they do it. What I don't like though is that they don't show the players when a team picks them.
yeah, for sure. But that's
I mean
fine.
that bugs me because it's like I want to see the player's face. I want to see what he looks like. I want to see like some footage on why we took him. And you know, it's like sometimes ESPN, NFL Network just completely ignores it.
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to this. This is obviously my favorite time of year, especially with March Madness going around. I mean, I know your Michigan Wolverines are doing well.
Yeah.
I mean, April's coming up, man. I mean, we are officially about 30-something odd days until the draft. I mean, it's coming quick, man. I mean, day by day. I mean, when you think about it.
All right, man. But you have yourself a good night. I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna get off here and I'm gonna chill for the night. So have a good night, brother.